Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker, and today what we're doing is we're fitting this screen to the Honda Rebel 500. This screen is a Puig Touring Naked New Generation windscreen for the Honda Rebel 300 or 500, and it's in light smoke. I purchased this from Revzilla, purchased it entirely myself, and I did that because what I really wanted was a Memphis Shades screen with their quick release, but it was just out of budget for now. In the future we may move to that, but this one caught both my eye and Toaster's eye, and this is her bike. So I said we'll give it a go. And yeah, it seems like a pretty straightforward fitting. It's one that I think might make people a little bit scared. Sometimes people don't like messing with bolts around the forks, but I'm going to talk you through it and tell you why it's absolutely fine. So yeah, let's get this installed now. So right here there is a bolt, right? That is your upper triple fork clamp bolt, right? You have one here, there's also one here. Sometimes on the lower bolt, which you can't see right now, I'll just zoom you out that way. Sometimes on the lower bolt down here, you'll have two or whatever, but basically part of this is we're going to clamp a new fixture in here by removing this bolt entirely up top and basically replacing it. So I understand that's going to make some people worried, but honestly, once your lower triples are clamped, provided you don't ride the bike like that, you'll be absolutely fine. Nothing's going to slip anywhere. Literally nothing will move. Now, one thing I will say is you should do one side at a time. I wouldn't loosen both sides at once just because, a little bit of added safety. So we're going to do this side first. With the screen, you're going to get two brackets. One of them has a little R right here, so you have right and left. And basically how that's going to fit on is it's going to sit like that, right? That's how it's going to go roughly there. So yeah, without further ado, let's get this bolt removed. I already partially loosened this just for the purposes of the video, but it's not very tight and it doesn't go back in very tight. From memory, these are like 24 Newton meters. It's actually in the Puig documentation and I verified it off the Honda manual. But that's how it comes out, quite easy. You're not reusing that bolt, but I would keep it just in case you ever want it in the future. Once you have that bolt out, basically you're going to mount this up like so, right? And then you have a bolt and a spacer. The spacer is going to go on this side, and then the bolt, should have put the bolt in through first. So that's what it's asking you to mount it as, right? Like that. So bolt, bracket, spacer, and then we're going to fit that into our triple. The replacement bolt is a 5mm Allen, so you will need a different tool for that one. I'm not going to torque anything yet either until we have everything kind of fitted up. One thing I forgot to mention is on the bracket, you'll see there's this little, well, hopefully you can see, there's this little rubber locator right here. That's going to sit up against the bottom of your upper triple. So it's a little rubber locator, and that's basically how you set everything in place. Now I'm going to go do the other side, and then we'll come back and finish everything off. So just as a quick aside, you can actually see here, there's your spacer, bracket, bolt, right? And that's how that's going to sit up there. You're going to have that little rubber guy in tight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mount the screen next, which is going to just involve putting in screen mount pieces here and whatnot, and then we're going to torque everything down afterwards. I'm not going to fully torque these, like they're all tightened by hand just so nothing moves. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to see this. Next we're going to sit these guys into the actual frame, and that's what the screen is going to mount to itself. So you can see we already have one in on that side. This is the last one we need to put in. This should just push in fairly easily. Birds are singing to me here today, which I love. Of course I saved the hardest one to get into last. There we go. So that's them sat into place. Next it should just be a pretty easy job of mounting up the screen, hopefully. This is actually why I've been wearing gloves this whole time. It's for the screen. You've never used mounted a screen before. You're going to have a bolt like this and a little plastic washer. And they're going to go straight in like that. So what we want to do is just get this held in place first. You don't want to over tighten anything yet. Well, you don't want to over tighten anything ever, but you definitely don't want to over tighten anything yet. These are a size 3 Allen bolts here, by the way. I don't think they gave a Newton meterage here, but the only thing you want to do is actually just kind of, everything should just be hand tight, but like you never want to over tighten anything like this because you're dealing with gaskets and plastic. So like you want to tighten it enough so that the mount that you push through the bracket, you'll see the rubber piece on that start to kind of squish and catch in the bracket. And once you get that, you're pretty much good. You don't want the thing bottoming out. So like that's pretty good there. Really straightforward. And then you also get little plastic caps which actually sit over the bolts like that, which I think is a nice little finish. So my memory was correct, and these are supposed to be 24 Newton meters, so now I'll just double check them. Alright, there's one torqued. And that is 2 torque. Technically these front bolts are asking for a torque of like 2.5 Newton meters, so you can do that if you want to. Me, I am not going to. But that's the finished product right there. I think it looks pretty good. Quite happy with that. So that's it. Very easy install. I would say you'd want to make sure that you have a torque wrench, because I would highly recommend torquing that upper bolt properly. Only thing I would change personally is the hardware that came with the Puig. I would rather see like something more equivalent to the stock hardware. I think stock hardware just looks and feels beefier. The size 8 Allen, I know obviously the size 8 Allen would be big because it's sitting outside now of that kind of seat for the bolt, but definitely I don't know, something a little bit more solid, like a proper cap bolt rather than the mushroom head. Not that these ones, not that the hardware the Puig sent didn't work, felt fine. I would just rather something closer to the original. Other than that, very easy to fit. Everything felt nice. The only other thing then that other people have remarked on when I was looking this up is the actual windshield mounts apparently perish quite quickly on these. You can buy kind of better ones. I have lots in stock from years ago. I just bought sets of them when they were on sale. But yeah, you can always replace those with kind of more upgraded bits, and I have lots for the SV650 fairings and stuff, and just from years ago for the Gixxer, so I still have those in my toolbox. If these ever perish, I'll change them. You can get a pack of them, decent ones usually, for like $17 to $25 from what I've seen. So if they do perish, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but honestly, instead of paying $130 for the screen, I'd rather have better bolts and better screen mounts for maybe like $150. I've never really understood that, I know they're hitting a price point. Like I said, they're cheaper than Memphis Shades, they're cheaper than National Cycles from what I could see. I think it's prettier than the National Cycles screen. I have a National Cycles, or we had a National Cycles on the CB750. It was a good screen, but I think for this one, it's very nice. And I have a National Cycles on the Z900RS, so I'm not really brand loyal there. I think the best looking, in my opinion, was the Memphis Shades 17-inch screen, but just with the mounts and everything else that came with it, it pushed it to about $100 more than this. So, budgets being budgets, we went for this one. So hopefully this offers Toaster a decent amount of wind coverage. I'll be sure to do some form of quick review on this at some point when I get to ride with it and after she gets to ride with it, and tell you about all of our feelings on it. I think for her it's going to be really good because she sits down a lot lower than me. For me, I'll be very interested because obviously I'll still be sitting quite tall on the bike. I'll show you that actually, so why not? So this is me. I am 6'7" sitting behind it, and actually that's probably going to block quite a lot of wind, especially from my chest area. So even for me, that'll probably work really nicely. Don't need that under there anymore, I suppose. Sorry, there was a bit of like sticky stuff on the top of the screen that's bothering me. But yeah, as a screen for this bike, I'm very happy with it. I think the price was very good. What the hell you're focusing on? There we go. I think the price was very good. And yeah, overall very happy. Easy fitment. I think it looks good, and I think it'll offer good wind protection, so I will update. But yeah, let me know, would you buy this if you had a Rebel 300 or 500? I think I really like the brackets actually, the fact they don't clamp onto the tubes. I do prefer these ones that just bolt in there. It's actually quite a nice design. A little bit of thought went into it, and very easy to fit. So yeah, that's it. If you watched, thank you very much for watching. It's always a very special thank you to all of my patrons. I do really appreciate your support, continued support, and you're basically all just great. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching. Adios. Outro crew. Would you get something that's like, this is more kind of a permanently affixed screen, say, or would you rather something that like the Memphis Shades that had like a quick disconnect for the screen, but did leave the clamps on the bar on the forks? That's honestly the main thing that pushed me. Well, other than the cost, I think the main thing that pushed me towards these was the fact that I didn't have to clamp anything to the forks. You know, I did like that design. Why is it doing that again? Stop focusing. My camera refuses to accept I have a face. There we go. Yeah, the cost and also the fact that I don't have to clamp to the forks. I'm not a huge fan of clamping to the forks, just because it can scratch them or whatever. But yeah, that's it. Which one would you go for? Would you mount this? Let me know. Have you ever gotten a screen? What's your favorite brand? All the questions, outro crew. But that's it. Bye, outro crew.